Hello, Wood County, and welcome to the Technical Difficulties edition of the Swoop this semester. We are your weekly campus and community sports show. I'm Zack Carreon, joined by my co-host Avery Dowell. Coming up, we'll let you know if Bowling Green basketball was able to keep their win streak alive against Buffalo.
Plus, we'll take a look back at a star-studded weekend for BG hockey.
All that and more is coming your way right now.
This is BG24 Sports.
Welcome again to the Swoop. Let's tip things off with some BG basketball. Things are pretty good for the Falcons on the court lately. However, conference games in the Mid-American Conference always are highly contested. For example, the game this Saturday night. BG24 sports reporter Julius Van Ruin had the highlights.
But we have no video, so let's just talk about some basketball. So they were on a pretty good win streak recently, but they did lose that game in Buffalo at Buffalo. Here in Bowling Green against Buffalo over the weekend, which was a heartbreaking loss for this team. They gave up, they had a lead and they gave it up. And obviously that's not what you see from this team, but recently they've been playing very well. They took a couple games into overtime against Kent State and Toledo. So there's exciting things about this team. I think there's definitely something to look out for. What players specifically do you think you need to look out for?
I think we need to look at Ethan Fry. I think he's somebody you need to look out for. DiMaggio Wiggins, of course. Isaiah.
Yeah.
And pretty much the whole starters. The starters are somebody that we really need to keep our eyes on. When they play well, the team plays well. And that's something that we found out with the Bowling Green team. We talked inside the Toledo game and the game before that. When they play well, the rest of the team plays well.
And this team, I think they have a lot of potential. They're a young team. They got a lot of young talent, a lot of freshmen that are making moves right now on the court. They're making big plays, but in the near future, 2-3 years down the road, I think these are going to be great players, especially a guy named Dylan Fry.
Yes.
Because this guy has one of the best mixtapes I've ever seen on YouTube. I mean, people are going crazy over this kid. They call him White Chocolate. He can move. He can shoot. He can shoot the three, which is essential because we need three-point shooters on this team because we don't have a ton of them.
And that's the thing about our team right now is that when we feed the big man like a DiMaggio or like a Wes, when they're productive on the team, because sometimes they don't always come through when we need them. But like we saw against Toledo, when they needed him, he showed up late in the fourth quarter. When they make their threes, we're dangerous. We are dangerous.
When the team plays cohesively as a whole, that's obviously when we're at our best. And you brought up DiMaggio Wiggins. He's a player that I've seen develop a lot this season. Okay, at the beginning of the year, he wasn't aggressive down low.
Right.
He was getting dominated week in and week out. But now we're starting to see he's throwing some elbows down low. He's getting points. He's getting rebounds. And I like to see that development happen. So I say he's like Shaq without the strength. But he's starting to show some strength, and I like to see that. And he's only a sophomore, so there's a lot of growing that he still needs to do.
And the thing I appreciate about this team this year is the freshman leadership. We all talk about senior leadership and what seniors do, what they bring to the team and their experience. But we've seen out of our freshmen being starters, being productive, being playmakers, and setting things up and feeding the ball and shooting threes and making last-minute clutch shots. Those are something that I appreciate about this Bowling Green team. That's something we can all take out of this season and going into the playoffs to look forward to.
Yeah, and I like the play that I've seen from Roderick Caldwell. He's the freshman point guard. He was coming off the bench at the beginning of the season, but now he's the starter. And I think he learned some things from the senior leader, Zach Denny, because he's been playing really well. He made that very clutch shot against Kent State that really won them the game when it all comes down to it. And I know DiMaggio Wiggins finished down low to seal the deal. But Roger Caldwell has been playing really well. He's going to take over for Zach Denny next season. So this team is going to be exciting. I mean, regardless, win or loss, they're exciting to watch. This is a fun team. We got a lot of personalities.
And we cannot forget about the man on the screen right there.
The man right here.
The man on the screen right there, Ishmael. what a playmaker. I can't say enough great things.
He's one of my
about
favorites.
One of
He's
my,
absolutely one of my favorites.
One of the most electric players coming off the bench, one of the biggest playmakers aside from Dylan Fry. When it comes to having that leadership, he just embodies that.
He brings life to this team. He's one of those guards that likes to go to the rim.
Go to the rim, make the shots, and perform. And that's why he's a starter. That's why they keep him in for basically the entire game.
The entire game.
The entire
game. He brings
game,
that energy.
He loves every minute of it.
He's aggressive. He attacks. And every time he scores, he's always doing something. He likes the attention.
Yeah, he likes the attention.
We like giving him the attention because he's fun to watch.
It's funny. We interviewed him earlier in the season. They asked him, "Who's your favorite player on the team?" I asked the players is, and they said, "Oh, Ish. It's Ish." His smile in the locker room, you know, the energy he brings on and off the court, is something that makes him a teammate and a guy amongst guys. So.
Yeah, he's definitely one of those guys that you want to look out for. It's a shame that he's going to be gone soon, because I loved watching him for years play because he was always the most exciting guy on the court. Yeah. And I've been impressed by Wes Alciguer as well. He's been the most consistent player on this team. Win or lose, he's putting up points. He's getting rebounds. He's playing defense, and I like to see that from him. But when everybody else on the teams plays up to his level, that's where we get wins. And I think that's where we can win the MAC conference.
So what are your playoff predictions?
Playoff predictions is we can maybe win a game or two. I don't think we can win the MAC this year. It's not. I just don't think it's our year. But they have a very promising future. I'll give them that. When they play well, they play better than anybody in the MAC, that I believe. But when they don't, and they don't a lot, they're towards the bottom. But the records in the MAC this year, they're close. So, 2-3 wins at the end of this year, and they're, second, third place. So I think that's definitely something to look forward to. But we can talk about a little bit of hockey now.
Okay.
The hockey team had a big Saturday against Mercyhurst University. It was the 50th anniversary of the ice arena. The stars were out. I saw Rob Blake was out here, as well as the legendary Doc Emmerich was calling the game for BGRSO. This team hasn't put together the season that I think a lot of people were expecting. A little bit of a letdown, but they had a mid-season surge that I think brought this team back to life. They're floating around 500 right now, I believe. Yeah. They're going to go into the WCHA playoffs, and I feel good about this team since they're starting to put together wins at the end of the year.
Yeah. I remember last season, we were standing right here, we were talking about BG hockey, how we love Bowling Green State University hockey, how this year is going to be the greatest year, they're going all the way, and then we started seeing the first 10 games. Yeah. And we said some different things last season. And then they picked it up, they picked it up towards November, towards December. They started winning a lot more games and definitely evened it out. Left last season when they were about 500. And they kept that consistent with a bunch of win losses since then. Yeah. And it's just hard to watch. We're able to win we're 9-9 at home right now. So we're about 500 at home when the crowd's behind them. Right, exactly. The players show up, half the time. Right, and so we want to see that more than half the time, obviously, because this team has the talent. BG Hockey always has the talent, so they need to play up to their skills and start putting together some wins, because they're right in the middle of the pack of the WCHA right now. Yeah. So and they win against good players. They win against good players. It's one of the toughest conferences to play in. And it's just heartbreaking to see them go on the road and see them not be able to perform and bring the win home. Yeah. It's just heartbreaking to watch as a fan, as a supporter, as a student. But the point is, though, they got the win against Mercyhurst on Saturday when they needed it the most, because the stars were out. And let me tell you something. There was a guy here in this building. Do you know what I'm talking about, Mr. Doc Emmerich, NBC announcer? Yes. We had an interview. We had an interview for the show, but we can't show it right now. But I'm going to tell you a little about what he said. He talked about how he got his start in the media world, and it was right here in BG. He went to, it was actually in this building, South Hall, the old South Hall. Okay. And he went to the radio station. He talked to a guy named Terry Shaw, and he said, "Hey, I'd like to call the hockey games." He was a big hockey fan growing up. He never played. He never laced up the skates at all. But he said, "Let me try to call these hockey games." And Terry Shaw said, "Well, look, I do the first period and I do the third period. You can do the second period, because I always let students do the second period." So he's like, "Okay."
I'll let you do that, but I'll call the second period. And so he did that. He did his first game in 1973, I believe, against Ryerson, which is a school in Toronto. And because you had to play those Canadian teams because there wasn't enough teams in the conference to put together a full schedule, so you had to fill those games with like teams from Canada.
I didn't know
so
that.
that's what he did in his first game.
Okay.
And then from there, obviously, he went to minor league hockey, started calling games there, and then he went to the NHL with the Philadelphia Flyers. Then he got signed to NBC, and then he just went all the way up from there into a superstar. And he was really an interesting guy to talk to, very educated. He got his PhD from Bowling Green in media. So he's a real doctor. They don't call him Doc for no reason. And so he was definitely an interesting guy to talk to. He had some great stories, very inspirational. He said he gets denied, early in his career got denied so much, and everybody in media gets denied a lot. And in life, you're gonna get denied, but he persevered, and now he's like the biggest star in hockey broadcasting. And you might know him, he called the 2010 Olympic Games, USA versus Canada, huge game. Everybody was watching. That was really the first hockey game that I had ever really paid attention to, because I wasn't a big hockey fan. Cleveland doesn't have a team, so why would I be a fan?
Right.
I got into hockey because of that game and because of Doc Emmerich. So meeting him, talking to him, very inspirational. The full video of my interview with him is going to be online, the Swoop BG Twitter account. So check for that after the show.
Yeah, I'd like to go off that too. It's a huge inspiration, especially for somebody like yourself, who's in that track right now, and looking to have a career in that. So to have that interview with him, that must have been incredible for you.
Yeah, it really was. It was really a special moment, And I mean, it's not just media; it's anything in life. You're gonna get denied. You're gonna get knocked down. But if you keep going, you can be at the top. So, but let's.
And you're certainly gonna go to the top. Let's keep it moving.
Let's get into this right here, campus update. Before we leave you, let's take a look at some results from other sports around campus. Women's basketball suffered a tough loss at Toledo Saturday, losing 59-74. They'll take the court again on Wednesday when they host Western Michigan. On Sunday, women's tennis got their second victory of the season against the University of Dayton, winning 4-3. They currently sit at 2-3 on the year and will host Detroit on Friday. Women's track and field finished third of 37 teams in Grand Valley State's big meet on Friday. Aaliyah Gustafsson and Mackenzie Wheat made history, recording the two best shot puts ever in school history. And finally, it was a big weekend for Bowling Green softball as they swept the competition in Cleveland State's Big Dome tournament. In that tournament, the Falcons defeated CSU 7-1, Niagara 8-1, and shut out Canisius and Robert Morris 8-0 and 1-0. So very good from the softball team. BG will continue the tournament circuit on Friday when they head down to North Carolina to play in the Charlotte tournament. That's all we have for you today. I hope you enjoyed it. You can check out more highlights and stories at bgfalconmedia.com, or you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter at bgfalconmedia. You can also follow our show on Twitter at @TheSwoopBG for videos and updates of all your favorite campus sports. Don't forget to tune in again every Monday for more highlights and stories of your favorite BGSU sports. For Avery, Dowell, and myself, and our entire crew, thanks for joining us. We will see you again next week, same time, same place, but with a video, hopefully. See ya.